We like to think of neurofeedback really as a brain exercise, and specifically we're exercising the brain's ability to self-regulate. This allows you to wake up better, fall asleep better, pay attention better, calm down better, all of those state management issues that underlie good function. There's certain basic ways that the brain can fail to self-regulate appropriately. A person could be stuck in high arousal, have difficulty calming down, falling asleep. We can be stuck in low arousal, have difficulty waking up and being motivated. Also, the brain could just spiral out of its own control into a symptom like a migraine or a panic attack or a seizure.
At my worst, I was having a pretty major migraine several times a month that would last generally 3 days and sometimes would last longer, like 5 days. But I had headaches really every day, and I was taking medication throughout the day to try to control the headaches so they wouldn't become worse. And I was really at the point where they said the next step for me would be a preventative one. And then I would probably have to take this medication that causes you to drop words in the middle of your sentences, and it really affects your speech patterns, and it was scary.
Neurofeedback can be helpful with a wide variety of people, different ages, from very young children through adults, through old age, through people with very severe conditions, to people who want to improve their performance who are already functioning quite well.
Recently, my mother suggested that I talk to a friend of hers who had done neurofeedback and had had great success. You know, I definitely feel that my stress level is so much lower now than it was.
So the variables for us are where do we put the electrodes and what frequencies do we reward, which turns out to be enormously specific from individual to individual.
I basically go in and I watch a monitor, and they teach my brain to stay in this certain range of levels.
Within the first session and from session to session, we need to dial in what is the most comfortable and effective reward frequency, how much do we need to get a person more calm or more activated. Once we have that worked out, then we can think in terms of placement, and we can get quite specific in terms of which brain functions we want to target by where we put the electrodes on the head. Neurofeedback session starts with putting electrodes on the head to measure the brain waves. Nothing goes into the brain, but we're measuring what the brain is already doing. And then we use those brain waves to drive the video game, which is the feedback to the client. For example, with inner tube, when the brain is achieving the goals that we set, then the rocket ship accelerates, makes more exhaust, which is a reward. If your brain goes off in the wrong direction, then a black fog comes in and obscures the tunnel.
From day one of my sessions in neurofeedback, my headaches have started to decrease. I mean, it started to happen right away.
So this is a skill that the brain learns, and of course once it's learned it, it's going to hold on to that and use it every day so it won't forget. We start to see change rather immediately with neurofeedback. It has some impact within the first session or the first few sessions. Then we like to think in terms of 20-session blocks, because 20 sessions is enough to get a significant measurable change, and at that point there's a decision to be made of whether to go forward or whether we're done.
So how's your head right now?
It's pretty good. I can really tell that my brain works differently. It almost feels like there's a lid on that's stopping my brain from going to the place that it goes to start the migraines. And I do feel a lot more peace in the way I look at my life. It's really been an overall sense of calm that I've gotten out of the process, in addition to the specific benefits of not having the headaches.
Neurofeedback is such engaging work because the more we do it, the more we learn, the more people we can help. And recently we've learned to do this training in a way that is more calming, which has extended our range to people with very high arousal, such as the autistic spectrum, severe chronic pain, agitation, anxiety.
And then there are the surprises that we can be helpful even with the degenerative conditions of the elderly, Parkinson's, the dementias, and so forth.
This is the frontier of neuroscience, and literally everything that the brain manages is coming within our reach. This has relevance to the children who are failing in our schools, to the homeless who are mentally ill, to the criminal population, to the addict in our society, to the elderly who are failing in their memory and their other capacities. And at the other end, it's useful to the sports performer who's at the top of his game, to the corporate executive, and to the stressed-out housewife. Across the board, name it, it is useful and worthwhile to train the brain to better function.